Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. I was just updating something. So, I am back now full time for probably a couple of hours a day. I probably won't do a long day, but it doesn't really make a difference to my trading whether I'm streaming or not. And in all honesty, I actually prefer the company. So let's see what this week entails. Hope everyone's had a relaxing weekend. Karina, good morning to you. So, Karina, good morning. Jay, how you doing? FSN, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so we had a big gap up. I have got a second chart up on here. It's the second chart that I've got. I don't know why I stopped doing this. That's got end of day deselected. Sometimes it gives you better. Now, I only introduced that after this. There's a little break out of that. Would I have taken that? I'd have waited for the lower high, I think. There's probably going to be some bulls trap there, but you just never know. You assume price is going to come down and fill. Well, there's no gap on here, but on this other chart, you assume price is going to come down and fill a gap, but I've learnt not to assume. So, Russell, good morning to you. So, who knows? We've got a leg down with a break. We may have another leg down. We've got two pushes to a new low, and we've got what looks like maybe a retest. Now, I'd be interested to see if there's a reversal here, because we fill that gap now perfectly, and we've had a retest. So let's see what happens if we get a second entry short here. It'd be interesting to see if this thing pushes up. So we've had a channel down with a break, 1-2 pushes to a new low, and a retest of this area as well. We didn't get through it. So there is a failure there. There's a trapped buy order there, but this looks like it's coming down. So I'm just going to sit tight here. Let's see what happens here. I certainly, yeah, this is kind of a no trade, you know. Lucas, how you doing, brother? Well, I stopped for a complete week. Well, more or less 2 weeks. I found sometimes when I traded later, I seemed to have a little bit more success, but I think it was just, it didn't really seem to make a difference, in all honesty. I had a tough week last week. I think I was up about $130 odd per account. But it doesn't seem to make a difference. And in all honesty, I prefer the company. Okay, there's a kind of a triple test here, but it's a bit sideways. This thing could continue down, or it may bounce and push up. That gap's been filled, so I don't want to automatically assume this is going to now continue up. It may well do. But it's a kind of a no trade zone. It's a bit of an area of indecision, isn't it? So, he missed me. I did miss you. So you're the third lady in my life. That's what it is. I've got my wife, my daughter, and you. So I've got to keep you in check and make sure you're behaving yourself, haven't I? So in fact, it's always surprised me how little women there are in this business. Now, there's a few streamers out there, as we know. I think Tanya is one. I don't know. Who's the other ones? There's Tanya. Someone else trade. I think there's about 3 that I know. 3, possibly 4 that I know of. And they seem to do really well. So if you are a female out there and you happen to come across this channel, learn to trade. I think women do a better job than men. Men, I think, are a little bit too, I don't know, gung-ho, too full of testosterone. I think we tend to want to argue with the market a bit, while women tend to be the voice of reason. So I definitely believe women make better traders than men, but there are very few around, which is always surprised me. So we'll see. So there's not really much you can do here, is there? Is this going to push up? It could do. Well, that's kind of it, really, isn't it? So, there's kind of a higher low there, but yeah, same again. You'd be with the assumption that this is going to push up, and it may not. We've got 2 legs down. We could have one attempt to push higher, a second attempt to push higher, and then this thing could fail. The trouble is, I think your natural instinct is when we fill a gap like that is to push back up. But I think that would be dangerous to assume that. I think the best thing is to never assume anything, wait for proper confirmation. But we may get 2 legs and this thing could come down or it could push up. I got no idea. You've got this as, let's see, pushing down. You think there's another channel here, dear? I actually tried this when we bounced here, but it's a bit too early. I'm assuming you were looking at something like that. We certainly could have. It's hard to say at the moment. We're going sideways. We fill the gap and we're going sideways. So it's a toss of a coin, really. It could go up or it could come down. So there's not really a great deal we can do here. We need to see a certain push in a certain direction. Who knows? See, the trouble is, 1 minute it looks bearish, and then the next minute it can just turn. And that's typical when we're going sideways. 1 minute it goes up, people think, yeah, let's buy. What happens? It triggers them, then comes down. They think, oh, let's sell. And then what happens? It triggers them, pushes up. It's kind of sucks in traders up, down, up, down, up, down. So this, you may decide, oh, let's jump in long here, and then we may have a triple test, and this thing could rocket up. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? I am back. Yeah, it didn't really make a difference to my trade and all. It felt like there was something missing, to be honest with you. The trouble is, I've been streaming longer than I've been, well, longer than half the time I've been trading, so I kind of got used to it now. I don't doubt it makes a difference to some traders. Some traders, it may make a difference to their focus and concentration, but I'm always a very out loud thinker anyway, so what may seem to some people talking and not focusing doesn't really work that way with me. My brain can kind of do both. I'm looking at the moment exactly what price is doing. I'm seeing that it's taken that level out there, and I'm looking. So if I think things are getting too much for me, I just stop talking for a second. But there's going to be a ton of liquidity down here, so this may flush some of that out. We've pushed up and we've had kind of 3 bounces here. So who knows? It's very easy to get sucked into a direction, which is not. I'm good, mate. I'm good, thanks. I'm also trading. I mentioned today, in fact, the reason I was late is I was putting a little advert on there for a guy I've got to know, and it's not come up for some reason. I don't quite know why. I am trading a different strategy, currency, where I actually started sort of 4.5 years ago, earlier in the day. And I'm doing it with a guy. I'll show you his website. Now, this guy has been trading for 20 years, so he's a seasoned professional. He knows what he's doing, and he's very sensible. He's got a really good attitude towards trading. He's got a no-nonsense attitude, no time for gamblers, wannabes, risk takers and all that. He's got, he's kind of absolutely against that. Not that he doesn't realise it happens, but he's got a really good attitude. I'll show you again. I did bring up his page on Friday, but I'll do it again. In fact, I was just going to put a little advert on there, and I designed it and thought I'd upload it, and it didn't seem to work, so... But there are so many hacks in this business and wannabes, you just don't know what you're getting. Now, this guy is very clever. He's got this nailed to a T. As I say, he's been trading for 20 years, and he's very good. He's very sensible, but he's absolutely got this down to a T. They have a daily Zoom meeting. I think the package that I'm paying is about £45 a month. They have a daily Zoom meeting every day, Monday to Friday, so you can ask questions. You know, you can look at your chart. But it's kind of based on levels. It's kind of where I started. So he starts on a monthly chart, actually a line chart, and he marks levels where price as respected in the past. And he does that first on a 3-monthly, then does it on a monthly. Sorry, starts it on a monthly, then a weekly, then a daily, and then he changes it from a line chart back to candlesticks, and then he goes on to the hourly. He trades the hourly chart, I think, mostly. Now, the beauty of the hourly chart for us guys is you've got all data planner trade realistically, and he has like a spreadsheet that he goes in, and it's kind of like a tick test. Does the trade comply to this? I'm still quite new at it, so I may have bits wrong, but does the trade comply to this? In that case, it's an A+ setup, blah, blah, blah. But it's so much slower, and I need some of that slower trading, set and forget type of stuff in my life. But if you are interested, look this guy up. I don't get paid for saying this. There's no affiliates. There's nothing like that. He's just a British guy I've been watching for 3 or 4 months, and I like what he has to say. And he trades generally earlier in the day. Now, as you guys know, I'm from the UK, and I don't tend to trade till about 2 in the afternoon, so I have got a big chunk of my day that I could put a couple of hours of something else into. But I do want to slow things down. I don't just want to be scalping all my life, because it is very fast moving. So Lance unsubscribe, Craig, let me just look at that. To be honest with you, Bud, anybody I see that I think, oh, that sounds interesting, I subscribe to, it doesn't necessarily mean, but I think I know who you mean. Let me just have a look a minute. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean. The trouble is, when you see someone, you never quite know what they're about. But what I like about that scruffy trader is he talks in pounds and pence, not in tens of thousands. People who talk in tens of thousands, straight away my ears are pricked up. This sounds a bit too good to be true. This guy is sensible. But what he talks a lot about as well is little amounts add up. So if you are interested, look him up. But let me just have a look at this. What's his name? Craig Persico. I think. Yeah, I've watched little bits of this guy. Don't get me wrong, I certainly would not pay to do anything like this. I wouldn't even look into it. Just by what he's coming, I would say it's not cheap. But these are just people that I look at and just, you know, it's more who's out there, what have they got to say sort of thing. But in all honesty, mate, I don't buy a toaster in the UK without Googling it first and YouTubing it to see if it's any good. So I'm pretty cautious about what I do with my money, apart from when it comes down to trading. I've just thrown that away. But I'm usually pretty sensible money. This is interesting. We've broke out the bottom, and there is a higher low on this chart. So I'd expect that to go back to that EMA, but you just never know. We seem to have gone up a few times. Is this thing going to try and get up and then come down, or is it going to continue up? My gut feeling with what I'm seeing now, and I'm going to stick my neck out here, I think we may end up doing something like that. But that's just, you know, sometimes when you look at charts, you have kind of a feeling based on what you see every day. We have cleared out a bit of liquidity there. It may come down and take more, but I think sometimes it picks off. In fact, I don't even think it's done that, has it? No, it hasn't. Not quite. But I don't know. We'll see. So, have I just... Where's the other chart gone? It's that one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we broke below there. See, on that chart we have, but we'll see. But I did a lot of thinking. One thing being by myself did last week, I did a lot of thinking. I just need to get more discipline with my entries. Now, granted, there's not a lot around at the moment, and that does require that little bit more patience. And if you're used to getting a setup every day, sometimes that patience can be a little bit testing. So, sometimes when you're sitting here long enough, your mind can kind of make up setups that maybe aren't really there or that are a bit too risky rather than waiting. I always think the setups to take are the ones that, like, when you're driving down the street, you jump out in front of you and wave, you just can't miss them. One of those trades where you can't click the button quick enough. We just don't get a lot at the moment. Now, that's possibly got something to do with summer trading. There's a lot of traders taking the holidays this time of year. So that's probably part of the reason why it is a little bit quiet. So what do we think we're doing here? It's hard to say at the moment. It's really just chopping sideways. We have filled the gap, as we know. We've had a little bit of a bounce there. There's probably, in fact, I thought we'd taken out that level there. There is a higher low off this bottom. So I'll be surprised. There's going to be a lot of liquidity here, I would have said. Two big move up, a couple of pushes down. There may be buyers here, but would you want to be buying here knowing the day's about to finish? Because, yeah, we gapped up, but we could quite easily have gapped down. So I would suggest it would probably, as we know, if institutions want to buy here, they tend to kind of force the market down a bit, I think, don't they? Clear all this liquidity out and then buy into it. But, I don't know at the moment. My guess is it would probably have a go at some of that. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look to me like there's any type of a channel there. It just, excuse me a sec. There's 4 there, isn't there? Why is there only 4? There should be another one. Okay, I'm going to bring this down here a little bit. Yeah, this doesn't look like a channel to me. That kind of possibly, maybe. Then we've had a break. I don't know. I don't like these big empty areas, so I would suggest no. Now, what I will say is this could push up, but I wouldn't want to go long here because we can see there's a stack of support there. So we've had this move down. We could have a couple of attempts to push high and this thing may go down. Chris, how you doing, buddy? Thank you, mate. Sean, how you doing? Sean could be. It's possible. The thing is, for me at the moment, this looks like it's going sideways. So I think it's just there's a little bit of indecision. We fill the gap. There is going to be quite possibly some, or I don't know, would you want to buy here just before the market opened? We gapped up, didn't we? Could get in the way. So I wouldn't have suggested that would be a sensible place to buy. But if you're looking on a bigger chart, I'm assuming buying in this area is the 2000 tick chart. I mean, if you traded an hourly chart, it could look quite different. So, but we could get a few pushes up here. I mean, look, we've had one bounce, a second bounce. This could be a triple test to go short. So it's hard to know. You don't want to be going long into there, do you? You need to give it a chance to hit that level and kind of let us know what's gonna, what it's doing. I was looking for something here, a lower high. My gut feeling after the break of this, excuse me. I mean, the thing is, we sort of shut up to here, didn't we? We gapped up, we went up a little bit, then this thing just dropped. So when you see that, you're thinking it's likely to fill this gap, which it has. And when we had this little breakout there, I just didn't like that bar. It looked better on the second chart, but it's still a little bit too vague. We've got two strong bullish bars up there. It could trigger and push up. You just never know. So you've got to wait for the lower high, really. It just didn't come. It just dropped. You know, it's frustrating when we kind of know where it's going, but unfortunately, there's just no real way in. But that's kind of life, isn't it? So, 1, 2, 3, triple test. This thing has got a bearish feel to it, so I wouldn't want to be going along here. I'm not saying it won't bounce 3 times and rocket up, but if I was going to take a triple test, it would be a short triple test based on the bias I can see at the moment. And at the moment, I know that bias only maybe because of that gap. And then when we fill the gap, then we kind of go sideways. So it could turn and push up. But at the moment, it's not really much you can do here, to be honest with you. I don't like them, these channels, when they go just as sideways as... What's that ATR? Okay, that ATR's gone down. Let's go back up with 2 contracts. When the ATR's under 2.5, I'm going to trade 2 contracts. When it's over that, I'm going to trade 1. I mean, the average bar is 2.25, quarter above, quarter below, 2 3/4, $275 risk on average. I don't mind that. I'd rather take better trades and less of them. So this is definitely more ranging at the moment. Very much ranging, and usually, as we know, when it does that, there's a little bit of insecurity in the market. Is it going up? Is it going to go down? That obviously, traders are going to have that in mind, that gap's been filled. But I would avoid a long gear just for obvious reasons, because at the moment it has got a bearish feel to it. And we came off the bottom before and we could only get kind of 2/3 of the way up there, so it's another reason to not do anything. Yeah, I think I took 2 trades last week. I won 1 and I got out for break even. It wasn't a very good week last week, I don't think. So what do you do here? So we got a little move down there, haven't we? 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go. We do seem to be. Ooh, good on you, Marco. Marco's got balls of steel. He's took a long trade off there. He'd be out there now, I think. Yes, he will. He'd have got out at the top of that. I can see the temptation. My slight concern there is we've come off the top and we could only get 2/3 of the way up. That worries me. Now, it may be because we didn't get down enough, but we did touch on that line. So it just does worry me, but he took that. I don't think it was a massive risk, was it? So, what was it? So, 475, 575. Yeah, it wasn't much, 1.5. Something like that, but we didn't get up there, so that just worries me. So, I mean, that's a 1.5 risk. We don't get 1.5 risks very much, to be honest with you. Yeah, hey, how you doing, Ben? Yeah, it didn't really make a difference, to be honest with you, mate. It felt just kind of quiet, a bit too quiet. You know me, I tend to like to talk. I think talking about what I'm seeing is part of my process. Yeah, I mean, a tick above, tick below, that's if you got a tick above and a tick below. You're risking a 1.5 there, so it's kind of about as small as we see in this market at these current conditions. Apparently Thomas Waite took it too, didn't he? Or did he? I don't know. I mean, it is a triple test. The only thing that makes me concerned about the triple test is that I would have liked to have seen it push down below that bar there, because there's a higher low off the bottom. So it just worries me. I'd like to see that, just that little bit of push. It does seem to be struggling to get up. We may be right there. There is a kind of a failure there, so not a great failure to get in. I don't think you trap many shorts there, but Yeah, so I think Marco took it. I don't know about anybody else. I couldn't see anybody else. I don't think Dan did it. But the trouble is, we often see things slightly different. Some people have success with certain trades and they take them a lot and it works for them. Having said that, like Max says as well, it is about the risk. So a tick above, tick below, you're risking 1.5 points, which is relatively small risk. Yeah, Thomas didn't take it, it was too neutral for him. But yeah, you can say it's a triple test. Marco goes for 6 ticks, so you kind of want to make the size of that again. The fact that we come from the top and we only got 2/3 of the way up before it turned back down, that concerns me. We may get it again, so it may trigger you and not get up that far and come down. But it does look like it is slowly working. The beauty is we have a little micro up there and we've had a break of it, and this may be a new high, so we could possibly get kind of a sort of a second entry short if we can push up a little bit and get something bearish. Trouble is, I'm still concerned because we fill that gap, we struggle to go much lower. So I think what I'm probably going to have to do, I normally go for 3 points, but I think it might be prudent to just take 2 at the moment with that ATR being so low lately. It was down to about 150 at some part of last week, which is the lowest I've seen it for a good while. Okay, let's see where this thing goes. It's cleared any possible liquidity that may have been there. So we have taken out a level there, or have we? Yeah, we just have. So this to me looks like it may be starting to move up. We've had a leg and a leg, and it went across and up again. Yeah, so I don't think there's any type of channel down there now, really. It just looks like we filled this gap, had a bit of area indecision, and then it looks like buyers are starting to come in a little bit stronger than sellers, and it's pushing up. It still could turn. It's hard to know, really, but So I don't think I'm of the opinion that this breakout is going to fail. It may do, but I think if it does anything, it'll retest the top. We've made a couple of obvious attempts to push lower. Now this to me looks like we've had a channel down with a break, couple of pushes to it, no, a little bit of sideways and a few relatively strong bounces. So my gut feeling, this is probably going to maybe reverse or certainly push up temporarily. I'd like to see a retest of this and then maybe something a bit wider, but that doesn't look to me something that's going to fail. Okay, I'd like to see this break now. Yeah, this is going to have a little break now. I'd like to see it retest this top. Struggling a little bit here. We're getting some wicks on the top. So my gut feeling is we're going to come back and maybe retest this. It doesn't seem to have much legs, does it? I've just adjusted that a little bit. It wasn't touching the bottom, so maybe it won't have a break. I still think I'd like to see a break, though. This just doesn't look sustainable at the moment, really. It's just not strong enough, is it? Okay, so here's our break I was expecting. Let's see how it reacts to here. So we've closed on top, which is interesting. So let's see if we end up having something a little large. It's a bit too early to tell, but I like the way it's sat on there, which is good. That tells us that it is finding some support there. Doesn't mean it won't break through it, but so we need a second entry here. Okay, there's our first entry. Unfortunately, sometimes it'll just do that and go up, but I think that's too early to get in. It has bounced off there, but I want to see 2 legs or at least a second entry. Sometimes it'll just bounce and push up, but unfortunately, it's only a first entry. There's not really much we can do with that. Just keep an eye on this other chart as well. If I do take something on this other chart, I'll let you know. Okay, so channel up with a break and a new high, so that's played out now. It was a shame, really. I was hoping we'd get maybe a higher lower, but just that's the trouble nowadays. A lot of the times we don't get these 2 legs; we just get a break. The one thing that it's got going for it is it did bounce perfectly. You can see it's closed twice right on top of that line. See how much support there. So that's one thing going for it. So that's that may encourage more sellers just to buy there rather than waiting for some something else a little bit more obvious that we were going to push up. But as we know, most of the time, 95 times out of 100, when we get a break of these channels, they do make a new high or low, depending on where you're going from, which direction you're doing. But so that 90% off finishes tomorrow. So if anybody doesn't know about it, it is on at the moment. It's the first 90% we've had for a while, actually. I'm trying to be very careful how much I spend at the moment. I was spending way too much, but I haven't spent anything this month, and I mean not a flipping penny, which I'm quite proud of, actually. It's the first time I've gone for a month and not spent anything, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'll tell a lie, I have, actually. I did a my funded, a take profit trader. That's the only one I've had. They've been quite a good offer at the moment. I think it's $102, in which that one is passed. I've got one more day and I'm $5 above it, so I'm just going to literally jump in with a tick micro tomorrow, and that'll get me to an account. So that'll get me to 6 accounts. So yeah, I spent nothing apart from that $102 this month. It's the best month I've had, to be honest with you. So I'm quite pleased with myself. Another thing I've introduced, as you can see, where my ATM strategy is locked stop. I'm locking my stop off. I've got my stop set to 6 points, and I drag it into place. The reason I've said it's 6 points, so I've got plenty of room. When I drag it into place, I can't move it unless it's towards price or into profit. I can't move it away, so I won't be able to adjust it in the sense of take more risk. So I've decided to implement that into my trading as well. I'm up 2 contracts at the moment because the ATR's low. Otherwise it would be 1 contract and 1 loss. I am done for the day. So I'm trying to take better setups. Hey Speed, how you doing, buddy? I'm trying to take better setups. I think that's the key. I went for a stage of being super strict and having some real success, but something just slipped. You do feel like a competitive sportsman. You've got to be constantly have your finger on the button. And as soon as you start to get a little bit too confident, it's surprising out. The markets have got a way of kicking you in the teeth and saying, I don't think so. So you've really got to keep that strictness, really keep on top of that discipline. Is there something like that? I'm not so sure. It's too early, really. So I did expect a break here, which we got, and a new high. I was just hoping we'd have a second entry, long or stroke high or low. We had nothing, unfortunately. So same again, you've got to give us a bit of space. Are we going to go up, or are we going to come back down into this? Still not too late to come down into this, but my gut instinct would say we'd be likely to push up, but the fact that we've literally just got above there and we're dropping back already, so I'm not so sure. So we just kept making all-time highs again today, all-time highs Friday, all-time highs Thursday, all-time highs Wednesday. So this thing just is going up and up and up and up and up. It is amazing, really. It just shows you the value of the S&P 500, the hammering it took with the tariffs, and then all of a sudden, literally within 3 months, we're back to all-time highs. There is a higher low there. It's gone a little bit too far, to be honest with you. So I will be looking for a second entry long there to maybe hold prices above there. It does amaze me how quickly these things recover. It's a great investment package, the S&P 500, for pensions and stuff like that. As I say, I've got my pension in it. It's amazing. Great time to buy when prices are hammered like that for one reason or another. If you'd have bought after, you know, closer to the bottom where that went, did it drop something like 18% or something crazy like that? If you could afford to invest some money there, you can make some quick profit into your pot. It's certainly very safe to invest in. I don't think there's many things as safe as that, is there, the S&P, really? I think it's yielded something like 10% a year on average. Over the last 10 years, I think it's been more than like 14%. It's nice, steady growth, that. Okay, what's going on here? I think you've got to leave this again, haven't you? We did clear out liquidity here, 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 and there. Did we? Yeah, we did. We broke above that liquidity there, and now look, we're quite strong below. So is this thing coming down? Another reason I didn't want to get into a long trade here, because you just don't know. It's not giving clear enough signals. The fact that we only got above there and we pulled back already tells me it's just got no strength. And then all of a sudden, the time it took that, it took 5 minutes to get up there, and it took about 20 seconds to get down here. So there's just not a lot you can do, really. You could clearly see it was struggling the way we were getting these wicks here, which is why I was expecting a break. Then we moved up a little bit, ticked above that bit of liquidity there, and then down we come. So it's just Is this going to continue down a little bit more? And I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Doesn't seem to have enough buyers to push this thing much higher. Excuse me just for a second. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute. I should brighten up in a second. So, let's see what happens here. You need a second entry short, really, here. We have pushed below that EMA, but you need a second entry short or a lower high or something, really, to jump into there. It's a tough one, that is. Better, much better. It's surprising. Now, I've got, as you know, I've got 2 wide screens and 2 standard 24-inch screens. And when you're glaring at 4 white screens all day long, I don't think it's very good for your eyes. And I've just found, I get a headache, just like a dull ache. I was getting it for a while, just a tired, annoying, ache. And my wife was watching me a few weeks ago. She went, "You look like you're taking drugs." I was just like that at the screen. So I just thought I'd try over to dark, and I just feel so much more relaxed. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's see what happens here. But yeah, definitely better. Okay, on this chart I'm looking at as well, possible second entry short. There's going to be liquidity there. If this thing goes down for a second leg, it's probably going to clear this out. I'm not saying it will. It doesn't look like it's going to, but I am looking at both of these charts. If I do take one on the other one, I'll let you know. Trouble is, it may. I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence here as to what's going on.
Order submitted.
Looking at a possible setup here on the other chart. If I do take it, I'll bring it in. There is one on this chart here. I don't know if it looks like it's going to trigger though. Got a channel down there with a break. It's closed below that EMA. So I'm just going to sit tight here. I don't think it's going to trigger by the looks of things. It's hard to know what's going on here. It's not super clear. It's only a 10 tick bar, so a tick above, tick below, you're risking 3 points max. I might get away with less than that, but I just don't even know how much space is down there. If I go for 2 points, should get below there. Let's have a look. I don't think it's going to trigger. It's not going to trigger.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so let's just put that. So trigger anyway, something. It's getting a bit stacked up now, isn't it? Trouble is, there is a lower high there, but look at that. I dare say there's going to be liquidity there, so it may work. It's just, it's very tempting. That's the trouble, really. You've got 4 bars stacked side by side, and you go up, down, it could trigger and go up. So really, it's just too dangerous, I think, to take that. As much as it would probably work, but you know, we've got certain criteria to follow when we take a trade, and as Max says, 3 or more bars stacked up sideways, beware. And that's exactly what we've got. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. If you sell it, if you short here, if it follows pattern up, down, and we go short and it pushes up, your stop's going to end up getting eaten. So I just think this just looks too congested for me, so the simple answer is stay out of it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant whether it works or not. You could take, you know, we could be in a massive uptrend and you could have a beautiful bullish bar and it could trigger it and go, you know, you may go short and it may work. So just because something works doesn't necessarily mean it was a good setup. It's clearly too congested and you can see what's happening. It's pushing up. So, end of day box. It's in, if you see this little, where is it? That little box there looks like a little fist with a little square, and there it is there, end of day. If you change the end of day on the second chart and just change your days to 4 or 5, I don't think it really matters, and that'll make it slightly different. as you can see if you look at them side by side. Sometimes you'll get nice context, but the signal bar won't be perfect. Whereas sometimes a second chart, as long as the context is as good, sometimes the second chart just gives you a better signal bar, and it's surprising, it does make a difference. See what I mean there? If you'd have taken that trade there, it's triggered you and started to move up straight away, you'd be kicking yourself thinking, why did I do that? It's going sideways. And not only was it going sideways there, it's continuing to go sideways. So trouble is, when it gets like this, it gets kind of trappy, so it may just push up, take your stop out, and it may end up going in the same bloody direction, which makes it frustrating. So the simple answer is, when you say that, you just can't take it. Not in good conscience, because if you're the type of person that listens to that naughty feeling and does something stupid, that's when it tends to kick off tilt. And you really got to avoid that like the plague. If we've got a genuine setup that I loved and I took it and it didn't work, that then is a lesson, because there's something I missed. But when it's clearly that, straight away I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking that's congested, straight away there's my answer. I can't take the trade, irrelevant whether it works or not. But I did hear Max say once, you can trade congestion as long as you can read it, and that it's just up down up down. There's no kind of reading there. It's just not clear. So it's a toss of a coin. We all know if you toss a coin, you can get it right. But what I will say, there is going to be liquidity above those two bars. So this thing may have a quick push up, clear this out. You just don't know. We have had a channel down with two pushes up. So my gut feeling is it would probably work. But look at it. It's not safe to get in. So the simple answer is leave it alone. Now, it may not look as congested here, but it's just as unreadable, isn't it? So the simple thing is, it's just a little bit of uncertainty. We've got this channel with a break and a new high. We may make 1, 2, 3 attempts to go lower, and this thing could shoot up. So, you know, anybody in these trades or decide to go short here, because we have pushed and bounced. We didn't get down to the bottom of this channel, and then we pushed up another bounce, so we may have another bounce and it may rocket up and clear out liquidity and push up. Who knows? There's just too many what ifs and variables at the moment. Market's quite sly when you see how it works. Sucks inexperienced traders in and takes the money. So when they say don't take it personally, I disagree. I think it is personally. I suppose a lot of, these markets rely on new traders coming in and injecting money into it. If everyone was a great trader, it'd be pretty hard to make money. So at the moment, we could have 1, 2, 3, a few bounces here and then take off. So it's nothing you could do here. I mean, there's always the possibility this is the start of maybe something wider. That's a possibility, but there's so many what ifs, there's so many ifs and buts. You shorted base under the chart. Yeah, I sort of get what you're saying there. There's two bearish, but the trouble is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 bars stacked side by side. Now that straight away unravels those odds. And what looked like a nice second entry short never actually triggered the first time. It triggered with a lower high, but by the time you get that lower high, you've got 4 bars back to back. And as we know, when you're revenge trading, you think, oh, let's go long here. You buy, it crosses over, comes down. As soon as it comes down, you think, oh, let's sell. Crosses over, pushes up, and exactly the same happens. Yours triggered first time, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was certainly interested in that. I had my order up, so gut feeling it would probably work. I was expecting that to get cleared for liquidity. In fact, I measured down, I think it was 1.75 points. I even measured down Yeah, to push below it, it's 1.75 points. So I was looking at it, but then when it didn't trigger, and then all of a sudden we had 2 more bars stack up for me, then it was a no. It was a no. Now, would I ever go on an evaluations? Yeah, I probably would, because I trade evaluations a little bit more risky, but I'm trying to take less of them. So if you look on here, there is a possible failure there. There's a second entry long which is triggered, so there's a possible failure. Now I'm looking about how far this thing could come down there. So what you could argue is we've pushed under this support line here. Maybe we're testing it. So second entry long, there's probably a few longs trapped there. So we've got 2 legs up. Trouble is, you could go short here and it may push up to this level and get 2 bigger legs up. We may go 1 leg, second leg, and then down. So I'm leaving this. It's right in the middle of this bit of chop. I've taken trays like that before and it's triggered it. Come up to here, give us a beautiful bearish bar and drop like a stone. So I'm sitting tight here. It's in a little bit of congestion there. So we may end up doing something like that. It may work. My gut is I would have suggested a bearish bar that would more likely trigger and then come up to this level and find some decent support. Supposed to have a new low, but who knows? Yeah, it's not super clear really, is it? Now, there's either a bigger channel here or it may be something like that. Either way, we haven't had a new low as yet, but we have had 2 attempts to push lower, so sometimes that's enough. That's penguin trade type of channel, 2 attempts to go lower. But remember I mentioned about bounces here and it could still push up. It's hard to say, really. You never know. That's the thing. When it's like this, you never know, and that straight away means alarm bells and you've just got to sit and wait. And sometimes if you get into a little bit of congestion it triggers you, but if you're a little bit patient and we get 2 nice legs up here, you might get a big failure up here and that may take us down. Leg down with a correction and another leg down. That one's slightly bearish, but I still don't like it. I'm waiting for the price to get up to this level. If it does, you never know that we got a channel down. We may have had 2 attempts to push low and this still could get up. We haven't really closed below the midline of this, so that has to prick your ears up as well. Is it going to come down? It's very easy to assume it is, but is it? If it's found support here, then it could take off in the upwards direction. I'm looking for a bounce and then a lower high. I wouldn't just take a bearish bar up here because of the fact we've bounced a few times around that midline. Actually, Mac, I've just posted Mac's chart. Mac's got his chart there. His chart's up there. Which means leg down, 2 attempts to push up. It does look like 2 legs now, doesn't it? See? Leg and a leg. That makes it tempting. Trouble is, I would prefer that down to about there. Max got it there. Channel down, 2 attempts to push higher. This was kind of what I was waiting for. We have cleared out any possible liquidity. Thing is, this is sort of like a penguin trade, but on something like this, you'd wait for it to push below that EMA. So we've got a doji there. Sit tight here because on this chart we got a little micro working up there, so nothing you can do there. Sometimes it's good to have two charts because it gives you a very slight different variation. You're bound to have liquidity under this area here, so it'd be interesting to see if we can get a push through that EMA. We may get something. It is kind of a move down with 2 attempts to push higher. We need to get through that EMA really. Get a lower high down here. I may have a go at that. So, what have we got so far? So we've got this move down. However, we've got this, whether you think it's something wider or that. It's a move down, and we've got 2 attempts to push up and a move below that EMA. I'm still uncertain about this at the moment. My gut feeling is, depending on how you've got that, Max got it like that. I would be more inclined to have mine like that, or at least like that, which means we've bounced twice off there and pushed below. So my gut feeling is, channel down, it's probably going to come below this area and pick off this liquidity. Whether it'll get low or whether the thing will completely career down, I don't know. But my gut feeling is it will probably, and it is just a feeling, just based on a bit of experience rather than certainly not something I would trade. But I'm guessing there's going to be areas of liquidity there. We push up, we bounce a few times, so there's bound to be traders buying into a move up there. It may still go up there, but I think it's going to find it difficult to get below these areas. It's hard to say, but who knows? But it is a move down we've clearly had some attempts to push back up, so it has found support there. So as we know, a range here, often when we break out the top of it, we'll do the opposite at the bottom bit, so maybe that will give it enough momentum. Unfortunately, we haven't had a lower high or anything. You can't say that as a doji. We haven't had a lower high or anything, but you know, it's frustrating when we kind of have a fair idea where it's going, but we need kind of setups, not just a strong feeling. I'm not saying having a strong feeling isn't a good idea to trade with, but when we've got a strategy like this, we kind of need to follow it, really. It is very tempting to just go on gut feeling, and I don't know, maybe some traders do that. I don't think it's a terrible way of doing it, but you've got to be very, have a lot of self-control there. I tend to kind of want to try and follow this as best as I can. That way, if I make a mistake, it's fair enough. It's a lesson, as opposed to go on a gut feeling and then kick myself because I should have just, left it alone. Because at the moment we have not got a setup. We can see what's happening, and from experience, we tend to know that's how price works. It makes a couple of attempts, and it's clearly couldn't get above there, and all of a sudden we took out liquidity there, which I kind of thought we may do, and that will be the next level. If we hit that next level, then I can see this coming down for the second leg down, 2 legs up and a leg down. So I was thinking it could come down below here, but it had to get through that area, and this is bouncing. This is going to get below there. I'd say probably it may have a bit of a pullback before it does, but if we can get below here, then I would suggest then it's likely we have a second leg down after a correction, which would take us, funnily enough, right down to the lows of the day. So 1 tick below. So that's now gone. So both of those levels of liquidity that I had a feeling that it could have done with being taken out, I think now we'll probably get down to the bottom here. It does look like a leg down with a couple of attempts to push higher, and usually once it gets below that EMA, it makes it more difficult, I think, especially when we're taking out longs. That's giving this thing a little bit more of a helping hand down once it picks off stops here. Not the easiest of days today, to be honest with you. But what I would suggest now, if this is a range and I've got this right, we've had a breakout from the top, I would expect one at the bottom. So if we do get a bounce here, I would be avoiding a long trade there. I've done that before, got into a long trade, it comes down to here, makes a matching low from there, and then took off. So if we can get further down there, my gut feeling is we're going to end up somewhere around about there. To kind of match that, somewhere around about there. That's if we do. No guarantees. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Getting a bit dry in the mouth, so I'm just going to pop that on the screen, and I'll be around about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, I'll lighten up in a second. Let's have a look. Is this going to come down? We've got a little bullish bar here, which is triggered. This to me still looks like it's lightly going to come down there. It's hard to say. There is. If I look at this chart, got a channel down there with a break. We've already made a new low there, so it's untrustworthy, this. It's very easy to get sucked into a short here, and this thing to trigger and rack up. It's sort of giving this the indication it's coming down, but I don't trust price at the moment. I mean, if there's lots of buyers holding strong down here, it may not get below there before it pushes up. That's if it does. Of course, we don't know for sure. So technically that channel already has made a new low. So got a channel down here with a break and a new low. So just got to give it some space now. Spends a lot of time doing this lately, doesn't it? Chop, chop, chop. And we have had what looks like a measured leg down, a leg and a leg. That's as good as a complete measured leg, that. We're a tick off it, so who knows? This thing could rocket up. But we have already made a new low from this little channel, so we just got to sit tight. So we got that little break out the top. I still think there's a good chance we do this, and if we do, we will clear out any possible liquidity down there. Trouble is, there is a lower high here. The trouble is, we've already had a break and a new low from this channel, and it is a little bit congested, which makes it that little bit more dangerous. Do I really want to go short into all this support? We can, you know, you can see we've tried multiple times to get down here, so it's just too risky. You can see it's all congested. It's all backed up, stacked side by side. There's nothing you could do here. It's just you're tossing a coin, really. So a cup of tea. Let's have a look what everyone else is doing. Okay, so think it's going to tank. Well, I think you got a fair point, mate. We've tried once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times to get up. There's going to be a ton of liquidity, you'd have guessed, wouldn't you, down here? So you may be right. We're certainly just not having much fortune to get up, really. It's hard to say, really. Someone's going to win over, but it is starting to seem a little bit weak, isn't it? So I don't think your thought process is that far off. We certainly could. It would clear out yesterday's lows. So market closed here Friday. We opened up, which comfortably cleared Friday's highs. So a second leg down would also take out Friday's lows, possibly a little bit more down here. So I don't think your thought process is far away there, mate. So we certainly could do. Yeah, is it really? Yeah, we certainly could do. See how everybody else is doing today. Sad news last week, wasn't it, Ozzy Osbourne? Somebody else, wasn't there? Was a few, I think, that we lost last week. Shame, isn't it? He'd had a colourful life, certainly an interesting life. Let's have a look, see if Nut is trading today, is he? He is.
I know it was a
just
short.
Kill his thingy. He's down a bit. See, being down is fine. It happens. I suppose it's how you handle it. And he's got a smile on his face anyway, so that's positive. How's Alpine doing? Alpine's been killing it lately, I can't say. He can't seem to put a foot wrong. Okay. I spoke too soon. Ouch. I spoke too soon. It's got to be 20-odd thousand down, mind you. You can't keep winning money forever, and he's had a great run of it, so it's inevitable that he's going to have a red day at some point. Yeah, he's down about 22, 23 grand, which sounds like a lot. But he bounced back from that. You are going to get red days sometimes. It's just unfortunately the way it is. I can't remember the last time he had one. I think he's had something like a hell of a lot of green days in a row. Let's have a look. Is our friend Bart trading? Is he today or is he not? I don't think he is. I've got a funny feeling he's on holiday, actually. No, he's not. Yeah, I think he's taking a bit of a break. Yeah, it says here, burned out, heavy losses. It can burn you out, this business. It really can. Can cripple you emotionally. We've all had it. Yes, I am, bud. I am. It didn't really make any difference, to be fair. I thought it may do. Need to put an Aussie song on. I don't know how it works like that. Can you just play songs? I don't know. I thought there was sort of rules and regulations, isn't there, with playing stuff? It's about copyright and stuff. I don't know. I used to have a record of his. I can't remember what it was. Was it something like Bark at the Moon? It was a gold-coloured one. It was in the 80s. It was one of those picture discs, 12-inch. I was living down in Winchester at the time. It was around about the time Crocodile Dundee came out, way back when. There is a second entry short showing itself there, but a lot of support there, a lot of chop, just not doing it. Break for a month is nice. Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it, or if you're trading, if you're working full time, you're trading part time, it's good to have a break. I'm going to randomly take a week off every 3 months, I think. It's very easy to see. I wouldn't consider myself a workaholic, but I rarely take time off. Now, that's if I enjoy a job. I find this a challenge. I don't like to get kind of beaten. I don't like to give up. And I'm a bit of a sucker for punishment. But what I did notice on that last break, that I did feel much more refreshed. So I think it's important that when you are frustrated and you seem to be... I mean, Bart mentioned he's had a tough time lately, Bart. He's just... Market conditions are hard. And he's took a bunch of losses, and it does happen. We've all done it. But what he's done is recognised it and took a break off, and you need to clear out the cobwebs. That frustration kind of stays with you. It's kind of like being in a bad relationship. You're kind of constantly frustrated, and the slightest thing sets you off. So he's recognised that. It is good to take some time off. I spent a few days fishing last week in the mornings. I think I went 2 or 3 times yesterday for about 2 hours. I got a lovely, lovely little lake just about 1.5 miles down the road from me, and it's full of carp, decent sized carp. So I went there, and I caught myself a few fish, just relaxed. It's nice. I enjoyed it. So it's important to... I know Mac's a bit of a fisherman as well. He goes away. It is important to take a break and do a hobby or do something. Holiday or something. Okay, second entry short there, but it is still choppy. But it's made 3 attempts to push up, so it is trying. The trouble is, do I really want to go long into this support? It's struggled to get below here. So something's telling me it's congested, so be careful. Now we are below there. There are these 2 areas here. I still think there's a good chance it's going to get into this pocket down here because of, as we know, a lot of the times in these ranges, if we break out the top, the next time we're at the bottom, we do the opposite. So my gut feeling is we're likely going to come a bit lower, and if we do, we'll clear out the lows of the day. So... There we go. So that's cleared out all that, straight into that little pocket there. Break out there, break out there. Now let's see where this thing wants to go. There is going to be liquidity around about here. If we do get a second leg down, that would take us below Friday's lows. So let's see where we go now. So we've cleared out liquidity here. There's probably going to be some sporadic down here. So, yeah, there is that possibility this thing now starts to come down. We've had multiple highs, haven't we? We had that big gap up there, so it makes sense we correct of some sort. So, if we can get a breakout pullback or something, maybe we get something. Yeah, if you can afford to take some time off, especially a month, great. For me, there's just so much to learn in this business. If I don't put something in every day, I kind of feel like I've cheapened it, but I think it's the wrong attitude to take. I think it's super important. It's just one of those jobs that can be frustrating, especially when you're still in those earlier years. So taking a break and getting rid of that frustration, I think it's identifying when you're trading out of frustration. And if you are, it's a good time to take a break. I know it's sometimes you think, well, I want to try and earn some money at it, but if it's having the opposite effect on you, it's kind of counterproductive, really, carrying on. You might as well take a break, even for a week. A week will sort of go. Take a week off, put your feet up, try and get trading out your head. I've got to say, for the last 4.5 years I've been trading, there's never a day gone by that I'm not focused on trading in some way. You have to ask yourself, is it an obsession or an addiction? You know what I mean? Perhaps they're part and parcel of the same thing. Perhaps you can't be a trader without some sort of an addiction or an obsession to want to make money or want to succeed. Okay, so we had the channel down with a break. It was kind of a triple test there. I just didn't want to go short into that. And not only that, it is congested. So, although I think it's likely to work, it just didn't interest me getting into it. So we have had the push down, and we've had a little break, a little pullback at a new low. So, I should play an 80s song, Obsession. They had some good songs in the 80s. In fact, they had an 80s concert where I live there, and I bought my daughter and her friend a couple of tickets. My daughter's 16, she loves the 80s. So I bought her a couple of tickets. They had Tony Hadley there from Spandau Ballet, and I think Holly Johnson from Frankie Goes to Hollywood. They tend to have some good bands. I know they had Elton John where I live 10 years ago or something, but I do love 80s music. Well, I kind of grew up with it. I was sort of in my young teenage years in the 80s. It was a great time. Okay, where do we go from here? There is a higher low on this, but it's very close to that EMA. There's not even 2 points, I don't think. Do I think this is going to come down? It's hard to say. But I'd say there's a good chance that higher low gets that EMA, but I'm just not interested in short. To be honest with you, the whole day really is basically bearish. So I think it has cleared out any liquidity here, but it's gone quite a bit lower. So there is a possibility this thing could come down. So it may not even get to the EMA. It has, as it happens. There's just, for the size of the risk bar to there, it's just not something that really interests me. If you go a tick above it, I mean, you wouldn't. There's just nothing there really, is there? If you go a tick above it, which is about there, you haven't even got your full point yet, I don't think. It's got to push above it, so I don't know, who knows? Is this thing going to go up? Or is it going to continue down? It's just hard to say, really. It's a toss of a coin, isn't it? But there's no distance. I'm not risking that much. How much is it? So it's 3.25 points. It has an even. It's a point really to push through. So I'm not risking 3 to make 1. It's just not worth it. I mean, it could continue up, but I wouldn't be trading that based on that. It would just be back to the EMA. So channel down. Maybe this is some form of a correction and we come down again. Let's see if we can see any kind of larger channel down here. I don't think there is. I think it's a bit early. No, not really. So, Thomas Wade. Now, somebody mentioned up here earlier another channel, but Thomas Wade's got something from there, which doesn't look terrible. What's the bottom look like? Actually, the bottom looks kind of nice. The only thing that I don't like is that big area there. But sometimes price does. I'm not a fan of it. I know it fits there, and there. And equally, it fits really nice at the bottom. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm not too sure. So I'm going to just kill the colour and call it an area of interest. So maybe it is. If we get 2 legs up and start to push down from here, then maybe. Let's just clean this up a bit. Oh, Dan's not trading today, I don't. Okay, so channel with a small break and a new high. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that channel at the moment. I don't like this big area here. Okay, I'm done for today, folks. I'm going to do a couple of things. I might come back and do another hour in a bit. So, best of luck to you. I hope you get a setup. Not easy trading conditions at the moment, so you've got to be patient. But best of luck to you. Have a good day. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll catch up again tomorrow. Bye for now.